Then in 2012, he tore his Achilles and things took a turn for the worse. By 2014, it was reported that Anthony Kim had given up golf altogether. Hey everybody, welcome into the Paycom Center for the Riverwind Casino Sports Desk. Oklahoma City back in action already after last night's loss in Phoenix, hosting the Hornets tonight. OU beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa just over a month ago, and the secret sauce in that one was 3 takeaways from the Sooners, great special teams play, great field position. John Mateer at practice this week did not have any tape or brace on his hand, and Brent Venables said yes, he still has some soreness on that hand, of course that surgery mid-season, but that his grip is better. So that should help with the intermediate passing game. Now they need to fix some of the mental side of things. Tonight's game is a good chance for them to turn the page, to go from tragedy to focusing on what they call the good things that have come out of this. Appreciating that nobody died of the 13 people on that bus that night that rolled about 5 times off the side of the road. The injury report is out and R. Mason Thomas not on it. OU's top pass rusher, maybe best player, set to make his return to the field on Friday. Toby, what a long road it's been. You'll remember he was drafted in 24 but missed his entire first year recovering from an ACL tear. Then he played summer league, started preseason, and that's when the shocking cancer diagnosis. He finally got to take the court again tonight. OU showed quarters at the snap, but it's cover 3 here. And look at Peyton Bowen getting depth, reading. His younger brother squeezes the receiver to him. What we've learned about this Oklahoma team all season long, and especially in the month of November, is that with that defense, they're never truly out of the game. The Sooners picked up Tennessee tight end Jack Van Dorselaer. He played in all 13 games for the Volunteers as a true freshman last season. It's also Jason Witten's first big win as tight ends coach for OU. Statues of the legendary coaches outside the stadium, including Bear Bryant, Nick Saban. Plaques line the way up to Bryant-Denny Stadium with all 18 national championships. But the recent history belongs to the Sooners, who upset the Crimson Tide in Norman last year. Oklahoma City's top 3 big men, Jay Will, Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, Isaiah Hartenstein, will all be in street clothes for the game tonight. The highlight of the sports world was here in OKC last night. Thunder guard Nikola Topic making his long-awaited NBA debut less than 4 months after his cancer diagnosis. Field preparations are underway in Norman. It's the surest sign that college football is near. Despite some reports that said they offered to let Gundy finish out the year, Weiberg says there was no such discussion. Tennessee was definitely huge, but there was still the possibility that it was a fluke. When they went to Tuscaloosa, beat Alabama in the next game, that's when you felt like the narrative. Once again, it's about balance. How can this offense find ways to push the ball downfield more without putting it in harm's way and risking costly turnovers?
Through God, we're playing a slow-pitch softball game with every one of our players and every one of our coaches.
A moment of reflection and appreciation ahead of Minco's first game back. A moment for the community, for the players and coaches that were on the bus that night, and for the first responders that saved their lives. When they think back to what they saw and experienced the night of the crash, it's hard to imagine they would ever get back to this point, to playing softball.
I went to the front of the bus and I saw Coach Schmidt, and he was hurled over the steering wheel. And at that point I did think he was dead. And so then I had pulled him out of his seat, started checking for a pulse.
Amazingly, everyone on the bus survived, forever bonded by the trauma and forever changed by it.
I don't stress about the small things. I just live every day as happy as I can.
I feel like I had a new purpose in life, a new perspective over how I should be living my life. But seeing Coach Benj and seeing him fight for his life was something that I'll never forget, and that was the hardest of everything that we went through.
After spending a month in a coma and several more in recovery, Coach Benj finally made it back, just in time for the first game.
Seeing him walk out of the hospital, I broke down crying. It was kind of a relief that he was okay, he was walking, he was one of us again, and there's no words to describe it.
I came to practice the other day and was hitting some ground balls a little bit, and they're, "Are you doing okay? Is that hurting? How you feeling?" It's pretty cool that they're really worried about just how I am.
How much time do you spend reflecting on that night? Every day. It's not something I can get out of my head, and we're really trying to focus on the good part of it now. Like we're kind of in the second chapter.
I think we need to try to close this chapter and leave it as a bad memory and just move on and not let it define who we are.
The first page of that next chapter, a run rule win in the return to the diamond. Reporting in Minco, I'm Chris Williams.
Don't quit. That's it. Don't quit.
That's the message from Anthony Kim after his first professional win in 16 years. Comeback stories are a dime a dozen in sports, but for Anthony Kim, the highs were higher and the lows were lower. At just 23 years old, Kim was ranked as the #6 golfer in the entire world. He was on pace to be the new face of professional golf. Then in 2012, he tore his Achilles and things took a turn for the worse. By 2014, it was reported that Anthony Kim had given up golf altogether. Then he struggled with drug and alcohol abuse, saying he even contemplated taking his own life before finally getting help and making a goal.
When I was in rehab, that was my goal. I said if I got out of here, I'd like to help people, and golf wasn't in the picture.
Kim joined the LIV Tour in 2024 knowing the better he played, the more people he could reach and inspire. So as he racked up birdies on the back nine this weekend, he couldn't hide his emotions.
That was all the lows that I went through in my life that I got to dig out of. Every putt that went in, I felt the struggle, and I was overcoming it. So it was therapeutic out there to fight through it.
After the win, Kim had a special moment with his daughter, Bella, who's too young to understand the magnitude of this moment, but played a pivotal role in getting here.
Before she came into this world, that I didn't feel any purpose in my life. I just want her to know that no matter how bad your day is, if you keep fighting, you never lose. And hopefully she takes that with her for the rest of her life.
Anthony Kim will likely never get back to who he was as a golfer, but he is much happier now with who he is as a person.
Who I am today is a completely different person. With God, my family, my sobriety being the key things to my life, I can go as far as I want.